It looks like they've changed the blog. I haven't read it yet. One person said it's really good, but I'm looking forward to seeing what they have to say, because I think the original proposal was garbage, and I think a lot of opinions I've seen on the original proposal was also garbage. What we saw, before we go into this, what we saw was a lot of high level. When I say high level players, they're not smart players, just people who have done a lot of cox, and they feel entitled to have grandmaster layouts given to them. Those people are dumb. They don't have a brain. I think the problem with the raid is not the scouting. If you improve the rooms inside the raid, you will find a lot more success with changes to cox. I don't think scouting needs to be changed. If you want to make it more learner friendly, I'm all for that, as long as it's not busted and there's a balance on rewards if it does become too spoony. But I'd like to appease to speedrunners, for a game developer to change the way the game works to help speedrunners achieve fast times or make the speedrunner life easier. No game does that, ever. The point of speedrunning is to be able to push the boundaries of what the developers have set in the game. To take the game beyond its limits. That's the point of speedrunning. I found it very ironic that people attacked No Monkey for his opinions on what he wanted to see from Jagex and developers with endgame content, and making the endgame content and the depth of it more challenging. And then also wanting these, like the cox changes the way Jagex proposed them. It was quite ironic to see people jumping ship immediately. It's very, very strange for me. But we'll see what they say here. So let's not waste any time. Our proposal for changes in scouting and scaling missed the mark for many of you last week. Thank God you realized that. Beyond the nitty-gritty of what cost feels appropriate and tweaking specific numbers, the feedback that stuck out to us most was around tackling the root cause of the problem we're trying to solve. We've spoken before about the desire to offer a number of proposed tweaks to the chambers of Xeric to address common complaints over the years, which might ultimately reduce how necessary it feels to scout in the first place. And last week we said that we'd look to deliver those changes after we'd gotten a handle on scouting. You pointed out that it feels a little backwards to do things in this order, suggesting that we make changes to the rooms themselves first, then explore a system for custom layouts afterwards once the dust has settled in the changes. I agree. I even made a couple of tweets about changing things in the rooms, and this is further going into the detail of why I think a lot of high experienced PVM players aren't very bright people, because I proposed a few changes to Chambers of Xeric, and you have people, reputable people, like creators and PVMers, trying to explain, like they just don't get it. They're trying to explain to me how Vanguards work. I know how Vanguards work. That's not the question that I was laying out. I'll explain it depending on what the blog says in here, but like some people are just so fucking dumb. It's hard to conversate with some of these people online. That's why I don't like Twitter. Furthermore, I think, let's just move on to the road before I have an aneurysm. Sorry for the blog. So we're going to be changing our approach and doing exactly that, while still looking to deliver as much as possible within the same time frame we projected for our original plans. Part of the reason for this is that by making scouting feel less necessary, it's likely that players are still going to be content with a variety of layouts that suit their personal preferences, which makes it more palatable for us to reduce associated costs and take a more lightweight approach to raid generation in the future. It's important to remember that if you only want VTVs, if you only want a specific VTV layout without Ice Demon, if you will only do 1 or 2 set layouts, or if you will only do 4 or 5 set layouts in Cox and that's it, that's not a design flaw, that's your personal choice and your personal problem. If you don't want to take a raid that instead of having Tecton might have Mudder Dials because it's not fast enough, so you're going to keep scouting and then blame scouting for taking too long, that's not a design flaw. That's you. That's your personal problem. Put your ego aside, do the fucking raid. Widen your vocabulary. That's a problem a lot of people have. Ultimately, we want to deliver meaningful improvements to Chambers of Xeric before 2023 is out, ideally in time for you to enjoy them in the latter part of Leagues 4. Okay. But the team working on these changes cannot realistically deliver a full scouting overhaul and improvements to the various rooms within the time frame. Okay, waiting to deploy both at once would mean delaying things even longer, and we think both you and us would rather see something than nothing. I would rather them do the rooms first, and if they're shit, they can always change them back or make adjustments, because if the room changes are good, you won't need to worry about scouting. I think a good scouting system, to be honest, is just you can, like, I think a fair one is you can pick 2 rooms, maybe 1 combat, 1 puzzle, maybe 2 combats. I don't know. I think 1 of each should be the fairest. I have clicked the star, thank you. And those raids, those rooms are guaranteed to be in your scout. So you pick crabs and Tecton. And then every time you scout, you're guaranteed to have Tecton and crabs in that scout. Like, that doesn't completely give you full scout privileges, but it reduces your time scouting by a lot. And it gives you a preference of what sort of layout that you want. Should be optional. I'm too shit for Tecton. Well, you just choose what room. It doesn't have to be Tecton. But if you're too shit for Tecton, instead of avoiding it, why not try get it down? Why not practice? Then you won't be too shit for Tecton. Tecton will be too shit for you. Tecton's a great room. Before we jump into the potential changes and a hefty survey, you might be wondering what we're doing for scaling, since many of you weren't happy with the costs associated. What? Instead of pointing out that the difficulty is the cost in the same way that increasing your raid level at Tombs Massacre doesn't change you at a flat fee. With that in mind, scaling your raids up will be free, though we'll be keeping an eye on this one whenever we roll the change out. Why don't you just do it in intervals, like every 5 people is a certain, like, scaling is free. I think it should be free to a certain point. I mean, you could just make it cheaper. I don't know. The thing is, right, if you do a scaled raid, you're doing a 3-hour raid to, like, maximize your purple chance. It's a lot of time just to get a white chest still at the end of the day, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it being free isn't so bad. I don't know. I'm not too sure. The only cock slayer I don't do is if they have too much combat, like Titan, Mutts, Tech, Mystic. That's up to you. Yeah, that's fine. With this new approach, our plan is effectively to survey you on a number of changes, both from our backlog and more recent player suggestions, figure out what's 71 mining, what's well received, poll the changes properly, and then roll them out in an order of priority that's supported by this survey. Okay. While our course of action now is to try and touch up on the bad parts of chambers rather than allowing you to circumvent them with custom layouts, we still want to explore custom layouts in the future, since there are some needs that can't be met with any of these changes. Speedrun layouts, for example. Speedrun layouts, like that's the point. Widen your fucking spectrum. No one cares if you can't, that you're second fastest. No one cares that you don't have the world record. No one cares that you have the world record, alright? We've included a question in the survey to gauge your thoughts on alternate approaches for a raid generation system in the future. Okay, whatever. All our proposed tweaks are detailed in the survey, which you can take either using the embedded version below or by clicking here if you can't see the embedded version. The survey is entirely multiple choice, but includes a lot of questions. It should take around 10 minutes to complete. Fuck, alright, let's have a look. Let's start it. Alright. Which of the following best describes your experience with chambers as Xeric? Alright. 0, 1 to 20. I've been learning chamber 1 to 50. I'm getting comfortable with raids, like Vespula. Okay, 1 to 100. Comfortable with everything in the raid, looking to optimize. That's a bit optimistic for some people. I love chambers. I do it regularly and actively seek to improve within the raid. 1000 plus. Chambers of Xeric permeates my every waking thought. I'm trapped in a prison of Xeric's making. But what a raid. Olm is one of the best friends, and fighting Olm as a solo player is among the best encounter design in the game. I don't even know how much KC I've got. I've got close to that. I don't think I'm over 1,000. I'm probably more like 800. Let's have a look. How much KC do I have? Let's have a look. Someone do the math for me, right? Everyone, add it up. We have, on this account, 155. Plus... Okay. 155 plus 367. Plus 162. Plus 130. That's mostly it, I think. What's that, like 700, 800? I think. I didn't remember the numbers. Did anyone remember them for me? I've forgotten. For 814? Alright, we're going to go 1,000 plus. Because, yeah. Being the best at the game, that's an automatic plus 1,000 KC. Well, the 100 to 1K jump is pretty fair, yeah. While we're looking to focus on making... Get off my screen. While we're looking to focus on making changes to the rooms to reduce how necessary it feels to scout favorable layouts, we'd like to keep options open for circumventing scouting in the future. Okay. If you started mewing, you would look like a Chad and a Biddy no Caprisun. Don't ever fucking talk to me again. Our initial proposal left much to be desired, so we'd instead like to see how you feel about other alternative approaches that we'd considered earlier in the design. Okay, let's have a look. Please select which of the following approaches is preferable to you, and note that this list isn't exhaustive by any means. We're open to further changes whenever we come to developing a system such as this. To be honest, it's like things like this, saying that this isn't guaranteed, this isn't exhaustive, and they're open to further changes. People will ignore this and go and fucking throw shit at JMods. Be like, why aren't you doing this? Why don't you propose this? These are bad. You know? This is some, like, so, it's so fucking... You're going to see some dumbass takes coming out of this. Players can customize a raid freely, but only receive a % of points from the raid. Players can customize a raid freely, but receive a percentage reduction by regular loot. In regular loot, without any decrease of unique. Hence, no. Players can customize a raid for a GP cost, or use tokens that are earned by completing randomly generated raids. These tokens are earned by all members of a group, but only the raid creator needs to spend them to generate custom layouts. Players can customize a raid for a GP cost with a value lower than lower? What about higher? Do we have a higher option? Who the fuck thinks that's too... Okay. This is kind of backwards. Like, I think what I think the first one or the third one, the token system's not bad, but it just has to be balanced, right? Or do you just make it so that if you are going to customize a raid freely, you get less points, less purple chance? I think that's fine. I think that's probably better. Click rock, thank you. Does this mean T-Bear stays same price or goes down? It depends. This doesn't mean shit at the moment. This is just like a fucking... Reset that. This is just like a... This is a survey. Tokens like the Blood Torva drops. Tokens like you finish the raid and then you get a token. And then that token will let you do a customized raid. Everyone gets a token, but only one person needs... No, why was it only the person that scouts the layout needs to use the token? Everyone that goes in that raid should have to use the token. That does, like, it doesn't make... Why is the fee falling purely on the person that scouts the raid and not being taken from the people that enter the raid? That doesn't make sense to me. That just sounds like you're just... Like, if you're going to add a scaling system, you don't need to worry about that. I think thinking about doing some strength training in Nightmare Zone, no one asked, cunt. I think 1 token per rune change. Even that, to be honest, 1 token per rune change is not a bad shout. I'm going to go the first one, I think. You can choose whatever raid you want, but you could, like, your points, like, even if you earned half the points, I'd be happy with that. Like, if your purple chance was cut in half, that's fucking sweet. This comes back to that JMod that hasn't done TOA, same hasn't done cogs, probably. I think maybe that would be the best. But it needs to be a considerable percentage. I don't like the fact that people think that they should be able to freely scout raids and then still be rewarded. Because you're like, people don't understand how much of a middleman, like how much of time, like how much they're cutting out of that fucking chunk for speedrunners that are printing purples. Which is bad. Definitely don't make a token system that would encourage trading time and tokens for money. Tokens will be untradeable, I'd imagine. 1 token per person plus 2 extra a layout. Choose layout. I don't know. The token idea can work, but it needs to be done right. Which of the following runes do you typically avoid when scouting? Well, none. I'm not a coward. Which of the following rooms do you typically prioritize when scouting? Tecton, Mutterdals, Vanguards, because they have overloads. How do you feel about us adding more frequent energy pools to improve run energy throughout the raid? Well, yeah, that'd be fucking awesome. How do you feel about us speeding up the growth time? Yes, please. How do you feel about us adding a guaranteed overload drop from Vasa? Yes, please. These are good. These are changes to Cox. Fuck the scouting. This is good. These are the changes you want. How do you feel about us letting room drops appear for all main accounts in the raid as long as the main account dealt the most damage? Similar to the behavior for the irons, where all irons can loot supply drops. I mean, that doesn't really matter, like, because mains can just drop it anyway, right? What do people just get mad? I mean, yeah, that would actually be decent. Yeah, it doesn't really matter, but still, it's a bit silly. How do you feel about having regular supplies appear for other accounts when dropped? This includes consumables like bruise restores, stat boosting potions, food, etc. Similar to being able to drop trade quickly inside Theatre of Blood. Yep, big time. That's annoying that you can't do that in Cox. How do you feel about us adjusting scavs to be more consistent with potion secondary drops? Our proposal would be to have each scav drop the following on death and remove the randomness from potion secondary drops. So they guarantee to drop that? Good, that's what I've been saying. That and or planks. If it's not this, then they guarantee to drop planks. Like, yes. Yeah, that's what I've been saying. That's beautiful. Yes. How do you feel about us making the following items stackable? Planks being stackable? Yes. Kindling. Would likely implement a cap at 28. Okay. Grubs. Thieving. Yeah, that's cool. That's massive. That helps with banking. That like this would make Ice Demon better. This would make thieving better. To be honest, thieving needs some fucking work still. And yeah, okay, cool. How do you feel about us speeding up the mining and woodcutting shortcuts? Yes, that's cool. Perfect. How do you feel about us reducing the defensive capabilities of both regular and CM Tecton? I mean, but if, yeah. But what if, hear me out, what if they give us a better defense training weapon that way you can use it throughout the game too? Just a thought. Which of the following approaches do you prefer to tackle? Eldermore hits reduce Tecton's defense by 5% of its current value. First, yeah, see, Eldermore price is skyrocketing because people will read this. This is my point, guys. People are idiots in this game. You guys are dumbasses. This is literally, it's a question by Jagex. People are panic buying Eldermores and people are selling high to idiots like you because people see this and go, whoa, I've got to buy Eldermore just in case. Stop worrying about fucking gold. Because this right here is why a lot of you guys are going to lose money. Because if this doesn't come to the game, you've just wasted money on Eldermores. But that's fucking good. Because that gives the Eldermore so much purpose. First Dragon Ball Hammer special attack is artificially guaranteed to hit. That's cringe. Reduce crush defense during a rage form. Maybe. Prevent his defense from resetting after healing at the anvil. Hey, that's my idea. But I like the Eldermore one more. I like the Elder one more. The Eldermore one more, yeah. That's two ideas of mine now they put in this blog, hey? That one and the Scav one. Hey, boys? Your boys making changes in Runescape. This is good. But I like the Eldermore one more. I might be slightly biased, but that gives the Eldermore purpose. Like it gives, I would say the Scythe purpose in Tob, but like the Shadow has purpose inside TOA. The Fang, I guess, has the necessity inside TOA. The Kereses do, and like the T-Bow gets buffed inside, or the Cox was, you know, molded around the T-Bow to make it best in slot. Eldermore 20 mil already? Yeah, people are so fucking thick. It's like, you guys are fucking retards. There, stop panic buying and selling, okay? This is something that's not even guaranteed yet. Not a fan of the Eldermore idea for irons, to be honest. Why not? You don't think it's... Do you not think it would be better if an item that was dropped from the raid that was completely outclassed by anything beyond a Dragon Scimitar, you don't think it's good to give it some sort of value, especially inside challenge modes? Would it be busted or fun? This wouldn't be busted. This would, because you got to remember, Eldamol is a 6-tick weapon. If they do this but allow Tecton to gain his defense back from the altar, like this is still going. This isn't going to absolutely fuck Tecton. This is going to make Tecton easier, and this is going to give it a special attack. No, you don't need a special attack. Dragon War Hammer effectiveness on Tecton is still the same even if they add that passive for Eldamol. Yes, Dragon War Hammer does this if it misses. So does the Dragon War Hammer BGSs both do this if it misses. The Eldamol still has to actually deal damage to do this. If it hits a 0, it doesn't count. Yeah, and the 5%. It's not. Yeah, it's not like It's not like using the Arclight on Corp. 5% of 100 is 5, right? But then what's 5% of 95? And we'll round up to 5 still. But then as it drops, what's 5% of 80? It's not going to be 100. It's not going to be 5 anymore, is it? So it's still like. Yeah, the Maul is a Mega Rare though. Exactly. So, but that doesn't mean it's bad, right? Eldamol doesn't help new people. It doesn't help new Iron Men, but it helps if it's dirt cheap, or if you've got one, it absolutely does help. The thing is, people are going to get panicked by Eldamols now because of this post. If they just added that passive to the Eldamol in general, it would be very nice. Yeah, I think the Eldamol is underwhelming. I think this fixes two problems at once. This gives the Eldamol some more value, and it brings Tecton's tediousness down. Slightly biased, but good to give them all real purpose. Yes, I think this does them all and the Tecton in one. To be honest, I think the fact that you find that the Eldamol's a Mega Rare is not a bad thing. That's just that is not a problem for the raid. 10 Eldamol hits will drop Tecton's defense by like 60%. Yes, it should be less than that, right? Technically, Clickrock, thank you. Would the Eldamol be more appealing as a goal for Iron Man? Would make Eldamol more appealing for Iron Man? Yeah, it would be, absolutely. At least that way, when you... Because look at it this way, right? If you get a Mega Rare in Cox, if you get a Kodai is dead content. Eldamol, if you got a whip, you don't need an Eldamol. But if the Eldamol had some purpose, then it's not so bad getting an Eldamol instead of a T-Bow now. Now it's just the Kodai you don't really fucking want. So I think that this is better long term. This might suck for those early on, but this doesn't mean you can't do Tecton still. This just makes Tecton better. Because you don't need the Eldamol now for Tecton. So doing Tecton once, say this comes to the game, that doesn't change the way Tecton is normally, right? Eldamol buff is absolutely worth it. I think this is a great fucking idea. Still don't want an Eldamol, dog shit weapon, bro. You're a dickhead. Eldamol is fucking S tier. Shut the fuck up. How do you feel about us preventing players from splashing when hitting crabs? Yeah, but just put your mage gear on. How do you feel about us removing the attack delay after hitting a crab, similar to the jugs? Oh, that's cool. I like that. Yeah, that's very nice. Means Irons have to deal with old Tecton into a Mega Rare. So, why are we trying to spoon feed Iron Man? Like that's a reason to be suffering. You're not doing Tecton anyway, so it's not like you're missing out. Eldamol should have a bonus inside Cox, 100%. To think that that's bad for Iron Man because to think this is bad for Iron Man because this is nothing but a buff to the game overall is ridiculous. That this is nothing but a dub. So many guys use Eldamol for bosses. Weapons slap so hard. Oh wait, it's not used for shit. You're just an idiot. Just because it's not best in slot. Oh well, Bodhi Wooks doesn't use it. That doesn't mean it's a bad weapon. Eldamol is great. This will make it This will give it some decent value. We're not here to talk about what's best in slot. Okay, we're not here to push our glasses up and tell everyone. Actually, Eldamol is fucking an amazing weapon. What are these people complaining about for Eldamol? This is good. Like, the fact that this doesn't make Tecton worse without the Eldamol, it means that you've got nothing to lose. Bring more utility to an otherwise bad Mega Rare weapon. It is an underwhelming Mega Rare. Absolutely, it is an underwhelming Mega Rare for sure. Absolutely, it is. How often do you feel about us? So, how do you feel about us reducing the Ice Demon's magic defense? Oh, fucking please. Yes, that is so bad. How do you feel about us adding a large chunk of potion secondaries as drops for defeating the Ice Demon? Oh, I like that. That's good. How do you feel about us speeding up the thieving room? Oh, please. We primarily look into this by improving the rate at which players obtain grubs on a successful chest opening. For example, guaranteeing 1 grub minimum. Or, higher level thieving means guaranteeing open the chest too. But yes, I like that. Woody weapons hold value and woody raid weapons should do the same. Yeah, I think so. Boost Ernemol instead of finding use in one raid. I think finding use in the raid that you find it in is a good idea. It's like having Keras in TOA. Keras is a dog shit outside of TOA, but it's necessary. It's a necessity inside TOA. Right, the yellow one is at least anyway. If it becomes like, if you've got basically, you want the Eldermaul to be, the position you want the Eldermaul to be in, which is what it should end up being in with this, is you don't need the Eldermaul to do the raid, okay? But if you have the Eldermaul and you don't take it to the raid, you are losing, like that is a bad idea. You should be taking it if you've got it. It's okay to not have it, but taking it is the fucking play. There shouldn't be anything better than the Eldermaul on Tecton with something like this. Like, you would rather do this in full Inquisitors than use the Inquisitor's Mace. That's how it should play out. Eldermaul should be best in slot on Olm hand. That's actually, I mean, you are smashing the hand. I think Mole should be better throughout the whole raid versus just one room. Yeah, but also, isn't the Eldermaul part of Tecton? Like, isn't that Tecton's arm or some shit? Two-handed helps balance it too. Yeah, I think you making it giving it increased damage on Olm's hand would be pretty funny. It's Tecton's dong. There you go, the Elder Dong. All right, moving on. How do you feel about us standardizing the quantities of potions dropped by vanguards? Our current proposal is to give each vanguard fixed potion drops in static amounts. For example, a guaranteed overload and a chance for more overloads as random still drops. Okay, as random drop still applies. Okay, melee vanguard is 2 aids and an elder. Ranged is 1 aid, 1 revive, and a twisted. The magic is 1 aid, 1 enhance, and a Kodai. Okay, so that guarantees 4 aids, 2 revives, and an enhance, and at least 1 overload, maybe 3. I think that's cool. I know a lot of people want guaranteed 3 overloads. I think that's a bit excessive. I think one overload with a chance for more is a totally fine mechanic, because that it could be the lowest giving overload, or because the other two rooms are guaranteed 2 overloads. So this is more like a gamble whether you want 1 or 3. But getting an enhance from a Vanguard room is pretty pog. Okay. How do you feel about us reducing the defense of both regular and CM variants of Vasa? Yeah, his defense is fucking busted for no reason, cunt. The fact that draining his defense is like using a Warhammer on him doesn't mean shit once he goes to the crystal. Yeah, lower his defense. Fuck that. Alternatively, how do you feel about how changing Vasa's healing mechanic so that he only heals if you don't destroy a crystal in time? This means Vasa only regains HP if he leaves a crystal of his own accord after 30 seconds, but destroying it in time would prevent him from healing up rather than... This is so good. This is so good for like lower levels. Less experienced Vasas. This is really good for Vasa. For like, yeah, lower level Vasas. This is big. If you're a less experienced Vasa player, or if you're a lower level account, this makes the room doable. Because if you kill the crystal at 29 seconds, he only heals for 1 second as well. He doesn't get those 29 seconds of health back, and that just fucks the room. But my no prep, wait, my other shit take is if you don't think Overload Plus should drop unless you have 90 herb. You don't think it should drop? Nah, that's bad race. Fuck that. That is silly. Yeah, flashback from my raid 4 or 5 days ago. Yeah, I know, right? How do you feel about us reducing the variance of chopping the meat tree of Mutterdars, standardizing the damage formula, which currently rolls from 0 up to your woodcutting level, instead making it roll within a small range of half of your woodcutting level? Player at 90 woodcutting might roll between 40 and 50 damage rather than 0 and 90. See, I didn't know that's how that worked. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Because cutting like a 0 on a tree is fucking annoying. Mutterdar room is fucking cringe anyway. How do you feel about us removing Mutterdar's damage immunity when eating from the tree? This includes immunity game when frozen just from before eating the tree. I mean, I don't mind that. Yeah, that'll speed the room up a lot. How do you feel about us reducing the damage output from model dials? We have a few ways of achieving this, including slower attack speed. Yeah, well, the attack speed is either 1 tick or fucking 3 ticks. Lower max hits, higher damage reduction from prayers, or making the model dials attacks more predictable. Can only change styles after X attacks. Much more likely to use previous styles. I think the higher damage reduction for prayers would be the best, because getting hit for 45 through range prayer is fucking ridiculous. How do you feel about us tweaking various aspects of Vestibular? Wouldn't make a change to that impedes on the currently favoured redemption method. Instead, we'd look at changes like reducing damage from Vestibular's attacks / poison. This wouldn't impact the damage from being stood underneath Vestibular herself. Okay, in reducing the speed at which Vespine soldiers heal, the portal, improving the leniency of the Vespine soldier growth timer. I mean, that doesn't really. Yeah, I mean, there's not. Yeah, sure. Good luck to anyone doing the raid properly. How do you feel about us adding a cooldown between healing pools attacks during Great Olm's final phase? I don't really care. They can fuck a raid, but it's not really something I've ever had a problem with. But I don't see a downside to it, really. Like clicking rock. It's not really a bad thing, but I don't see. Like saying no to this is just like you guys just need to get good. Heal for more points? Yeah. I've already clicked rock, thank you. Get good, dislike. How do you feel about us limiting the distance from the player at which a portal special can spawn between Great Olm in a solo raid? Oh my god, yes. Like, it makes no sense that you have to run the entire fucking room putting portals in fucking Narnia. Like, it's impossible to make the run. That is so dumb. Out of all the tweaks outlined in the survey, which 5 do you believe should be the highest priority? I think... which 5 should be the highest priority? Right. I think Ice Demon magic level is a fucking problem. I think that Vasa one is very good. The healing mechanics, very fucking good. I think the portals in Olm is very strong. I want to do Tecton's defense out of bias, and I think Scavving. I think. Yeah, I think those are the best ones for me. More energy, but the energy pool ones are really good. I do like the energy pool ones, but like, just don't be cheap with staminas. I do like the energy pool one. Like, I don't think it's a top 5 for me though. I think the scavving can like guaranteed kill one scav. You're good. Send it. Because energy pools, the reason you do energy pools is because it's like, I don't want to sit my stamina, but sit your fucking stamina. The Ice Demon's magic defense is way too fucking high for no reason. I do bring 2 stamps into clocks and I'm fine. Yeah, you should be fine. A confident solo Olma, you don't need two stands for Olm. So yeah, just send one and send it. Too many good things to pick from. Yeah, the Vasa healing mechanic is massive for like learners, and the Olm portals is a big problem. So that's good. That like fucks a perfect run up. Having seen the full scope of potential changes, do you believe that the best approach for us is to take is to make improvements on the rooms first and custom layout second, or vice versa? Rooms, custom layout second. To be honest, custom layouts like these look at how I can go on Twitter. People love these changes. This is a fat dub from Jagex. Questions like this prove to me personally that it's not the layout and the scouting system that's the problem. It's the fucking rooms. People don't want to do the rooms because they don't want to fucking they don't want to do tedious shit. Having seen the full scope of potential changes, if all of them were to be made, how much do you think you would enjoy Chambers of Xeric compared to now? I would enjoy it more than I do now. Absolutely. None of those were bad. One question needs to be answered. Question 3. What? Which of the following rooms do you typically avoid? I don't avoid any cunt. I'm not a coward. Why the fuck would I avoid? I guess we'll have to put Vestibular because my accounts, I don't have the gear for it. But I'm not a fucking bitch. Where's the not a pussy button? All right, I like that. Good changes. What's all this here? Maybe you're not in the mood to fill out a survey, but still want to see what's on the table. No, we went through all that. Do the survey. And if you don't know what to do on the survey, copy my answers. They're the smartest ones of all. But go through, if you have experience, choose your own preferences, do what you think is best for you. Because I don't think there's really a bad choice in there. There's some silly options to choose one over another, but still. Yeah. That's fucking big. That's so big, man. I want to upload that, like, now. This is the easiest room in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him, goddamn. Fuck me, look at that boy. It's huge.